Taylor's health condition is causing a lot of confusion and unexpected turns. The latest revelation shows that Dr. Grace may have misdiagnosed Taylor's illness. The root cause comes from Grace mistakenly taking the medical record of another patient with the same name as Taylor, leading to incorrect treatment instructions. This situation makes all the characters and the audience worried, and it marks a new turning point in the dramatic story. According to the initial results, Grace concluded that Taylor's condition was not dangerous, but in fact, the consecutive heart attacks every time she was stressed proved otherwise. Although Taylor participated in chakra therapy in the hope of improving her health, it seemed that the pain did not subside. This increased the anxiety not only for Taylor, but also for her loved ones, especially Steffi, when she witnessed her mother's increasingly weak condition. Most recently, Taylor had to go through a moment of extreme stress when Brooke suddenly appeared and gave her a harsh warning. The two women, who were once rivals in the battle for Ridge, now faced off in a heated argument. Brooke's warning not only made Taylor feel threatened, but also pushed her into a critical health condition. In the middle of the argument, Taylor almost fainted when her heart suddenly started to pound. Fortunately, she quickly took painkillers in time, helping the pain subside. But deep in her mind, Taylor still couldn't help but wonder about her condition. If her condition was really not as dangerous as Grace said, then why did these pains keep coming? The matter became more serious when, during a recent conversation between Steffi and Taylor, Taylor suddenly fainted right in front of her daughter. Steffi was panicked and scared, immediately taking her mother to the hospital in an extremely worried state. Steffi had never seen her mother so weak, and she couldn't help but wonder if Grace had made a mistake in her diagnosis, causing Taylor to suffer from this condition without proper medical intervention. At the hospital, the doctors were conducting a thorough checkup of Taylor's health to determine the real cause of these heart attacks. The big question was whether Taylor's condition was more serious than they thought. Grace, who had unintentionally caused the confusion, was also facing great pressure from having to explain and clarify everything. If there was really a mistake in the diagnosis, this would not only put Taylor in danger, but could also cause a serious rift in the relationship between Grace and Taylor's family. Steffi, who had always been strong and resilient, was truly afraid for her mother's life this time. She began to ask a series of questions about Grace's diagnosis and whether there could be some mistake. Taylor's constant sudden pain and recent fainting made Steffi realize that her mother could be facing a much bigger risk. Steffi decided to not rely on the word of one doctor, but seek additional opinions from other experts to ensure that Taylor received the best medical care. Taylor's life now seemed like a series of unstable days, as she had to face constant worries about her health. The heart attacks were not only a physical symptom, but also a manifestation of the psychological pressure she had been under all this time, from the arguments with Brooke to Ridge still not being able to make a clear decision about his feelings. All of these factors created a stressful picture for Taylor. Finn, as a doctor, quickly took over Taylor's emergency room. However, what shocked Finn was the discovery that Taylor had suffered a ruptured aorta, an extremely dangerous condition that could lead to death within a short period of time if not treated promptly. When Finn realized the dire situation, he and the team of doctors at the hospital immediately entered a race against time to save Taylor from the critical condition. This was a tense battle between life and death, with every second counting. All the characters in the Forrester family, from Ridge, Steffi to other loved ones, anxiously waited for news from the emergency room, while Finn and the doctors focused all their efforts to save Taylor's life. After many tense hours, Finn finally walked out of the emergency room with a heavy face. Although he announced that Taylor had overcome the immediate critical condition, her condition was still extremely serious. Taylor could not escape the impending death. According to Finn, Taylor only had a few months to live, or maybe even less than expected. This was a devastating news for the Forrester family, especially Steffi, as she faced the reality that her mother was near death. Steffi could not believe that her mother was about to face her eternal departure. This pain was not only a physical loss but also a mental collapse when Steffi knew that she did not have much time left to share precious moments with her mother. For Ridge, who had experienced many upheavals in his relationship with Taylor, he could not hide his surprise and pain at this result. One of the most shocking details was that Grace, who had initially diagnosed Taylor, was completely wrong in her assessment. Grace, with her medical experience, did not recognize Taylor's ruptured aorta and gave an erroneous optimistic diagnosis. This not only made Taylor's condition worse, but also questioned the accuracy of Grace's work, who had unintentionally led the Forrester family to believe that everything was under control, when in fact, it was the opposite.
Oh.